Hello friends! People are constantly striving for something unusual and supernatural. They live in the hope that robots and high technologies will appear soon. However, we do not even think about the fact that the future has already come. And those top-end transforming cars that I will show you today are the direct confirmation of this. In the meantime, check your like under this video and subscribe to the channel. Done? Then let's start. Apparently, some guys were so inspired by Transformers that they just could not help but create a robot similar to them. The funniest thing about this work is that real people can get into the robot, and while they're inside, the system will be activated and straightened up. It looks a bit creepy from the outside, of course. For the first time, I let them out of my sight and thought that this monster machine had chewed the poor spectators. But everything turned out okay, and they were actually behind it. In addition to the amazing transformation, the robot also moves. Well, about the beautiful look, I generally keep quiet. All of you are well aware of it now. And this is a Chevrolet Camaro, a legendary car that is directly related to Transformers. If you understand what I'm talking about, write in the comments. Let's test if you are real fans of the movie. In general, this ride, as you understand, is not simple. This is how it can dry off and suddenly begin to transform. Moreover, internal flashlights and backlights make a real show during the process. Think about how cool and bewitching all this can look somewhere on the street at night. Just crazy. This car does not completely turn into a robot, but only becomes one thanks to its front part of the body. But this is quite enough for the wow effect. How did developers manage to hide so many mechanisms inside? It's still a mystery to me. However, not all designers make their work as big as possible. Someone out there comes up with cool miniature toys. Like for example the next little yellow robot. It certainly reminds me of a Bumblebee, but mixed with some kind of Wall-E or something. The latter appeared here purely because of the eyes. The robot is as accurate as possible, small and cool. Yes, it doesn't even move like others. Just look. Haha, did you believe? I had the same goofy face when I realized that this was actually a person. I don't know how he manages to portray a robot so believably, but for this he gets a huge like from me. Awesome job. To be honest, I think I have already seen this BMW somewhere. It seems to be one of the first car transformers that were created by technology lovers. However, despite its age, its principle and the speed are still surprising. Everything is as clear as possible, without errors and unnecessary stops. An extremely beautiful performance. No wonder so many people gathered around the robot. People understand where beauty comes from. The only thing is that it seems like it does not drive, but I'm not sure about this. In any case, even if it is like this, the guys will have something to work on. Otherwise, that would be a perfect robot. What is not interesting, right? Some kind of micro-robots, BMW and stuff like that is certainly good, but it's time to show the head of all Transformers, Optimus Prime. Well, in my opinion, the Autobots would be happy if they actually had such a leader. I don't know about you, but as for me, I still don't understand whether this is a real robot or a person in some kind of super mega hyper suit, because everything looks so believable, like I got into a movie. The colors are perfectly matched, the drawings are same as the original version. The movements are real. In short, it's cool. Next up is a car that was inspired by Transformers fans. You won't believe it, but they created it for normal use. However, it can only look simple or customized a bit. But as soon as the driver presses the secret button, the car literally shrinks and stretches, turning not into a Matisse, but into a super small car, a place for which you can find in absolutely any parking lot. Very cool project. It's a pity the price is so high. Sometimes you stand in traffic like this and think to yourself, I wish I could go and then just take off and skip all the traffic. It turns out that thoughts are material because otherwise this creation cannot be explained. The car has an unusual appearance which is not a decorative component, but what really makes it fly up into the sky. And not just for a couple of meters, but straight into the air, like a real biplane. In general, a traffic jam is definitely not a problem for such transport. It's a pity that that's forbidden to fly around the city like this, otherwise I know what I would be doing in the near future. I would be studying to be a pilot to buy this device. And this car was invented by real engineers from the no less real Kia company, which has been pleasing people around the world with their cars for many years. Once the guys came up with the idea to make a cool transformer. Well, they took some old crossover model, equipped it with everything they needed, and tried to launch it. As you can see, it turned out to be quite good. However, they still need to finalize the possibility of movement in the real form, and ideally the movement of parts of the so-called robot body. But anyhow, the project has definitely been a success. Just think, what you see now was actually 5 years ago. Yes, this is how time flies. Everything was invented many years back, and we learn about it only now. Maybe there is something that we will talk about only in 5 years. I'll search for this soon. And of course, I could not help but show you the legendary car, which in my time was probably considered the coolest and most sophisticated in the world. I'm talking about Delorean from Back to the Future. To tell the truth, this model, to put it mildly, is not revolutionary, at least due to the fact that it is a miniature boy's costume. But it is still worth your attention. Firstly, something more is important for this, a person stretching. Well, let's be serious, as even such a suit has its advantages. It is unusual and also attracts the attention of others. As for me, I think they need to adjust the wheels in such a way that they also drive while a person is bent. Then it will be the best. It is only important to take care of the knees and put wheels there too, so it will be cool. Well, since we're talking about Transformers again, we should also mention the main villain Megatron. How he infuriated me when I was a child. I was so worried about the destiny on the characters in the film. This robot is also the devil knows what. Either a real mechanism or a person in a Megatron suit. Write in the comments, please, if you understand. How can this really be determined? Although in fact it may not be necessary at all. Well, the robot is very beautiful, cool, with luminous eyes and smooth movements. I liked it so much and even got goosebumps. As always, the villains do their job. You can not only take out your anger on them, but also get high from them from time to time. Do you think that Russian auto industry is not capable of anything? And only these US robots can do something? So naive. Here is a direct argument to your face. This is a top-of-the-line Lada that has a beautiful, bright red hue and not only turns into a robot, but does it on the go and even continues to steer and ride. Well, just a jaw-dropper, isn't it? This is where apparently all the ideas of the Lada developers go, to innovate but not to upgrade old machines. I'm looking forward to see such cars on all the roads of the country next year. And they got used to the fact that Lada is only a tinted, understated car, which only rides in the middle of the night in residential areas with loud music. But no. And in this video, the guy assembled one suit on his own, the suit of a motorcycle. He somehow secured a wheel to his feet, did the same to his arms, and surrounded himself with strange equipment. From the outside it looks unclear, but as soon as he starts to move, calmly, methodically, movement after movement, all the pieces are gathered together and the mosaic shows us a cool motorcycle, which you can even ride safely if the guy's back is strong. Well, in my opinion, this is even cooler than many real projects with iron cars. Besides, the guy not only shows his ingenuity, but also trains. And if he pumps up his back, he can even give ride to small children. Although normal parents would not agree to this, but that's another story, as they say. The next car is real. It is a full-fledged transport that people drive every day. But in the evenings, when everyone is asleep, it neatly turns into a Bumblebee from Transformers and goes to save the world from the troubles. First, a head comes out of the hood, then the doors open, and so, one part after another, accompanied by smoke, a full-fledged yellow robot is assembled, attracting the eyes of the passers-by. Some kind of bright sphere or something similar to it is spinning in the middle for decoration purposes, and in general, there are so many details in this work that you can hardly stop looking at. Remember, today we showed you a robot that folded and neatly jumped or drove. So, apparently, this is his best friend, whom he achieved this success with. Yes, That guy has almost the same suit, which perhaps does not go. Or he just hasn't shown us this yet. Among the advantages, one can single out a quick assembly and disassembly of the robot, as well as beautiful elements and full-fledged reincarnation, which doesn't leave anything that distracts us from the picture. I even think that if someone walked down the street and saw this miracle, he would never realize that it was a man in a suit. Do you agree with me? Well, that's all, friends. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave your like, and goodbye for now.